What's up? It's your boy FPLK man, and I'm back here with a brand new video. And today I've got for you my Game Week 28 team review, as well as my Game Week 29 team selection, which is a blank game week, by the way. So let's see what moves we do. There's a lot of players that blank, some of them are injured. So without further ado, let's dive in. So for Game Week 28, unfortunately, I had a bit of a tough game week. I only managed to get 51 points. Kind of a big red arrow around top 10k, not too big to be honest at the same time, considering the fact that I had a bit of a horror show this week. Haaland versus Nico Williams, which you guys cannot see, he is actually on my bench. Unfortunately, I did bench him for his clean sheet versus City. I did not expect them to keep a clean sheet versus City, but you know how Forest has been this season. They've been getting clean sheets versus everyone, doesn't matter the opponent. And Haaland, who I did start instead of Nico Williams, got 0-pointer. They considered 2 goals to spares, and he's got booked. So it is what it is, tough one. And then my double Arsenal defense did end up considering to Bruno Fernandes' goal. My club, Manchester United, people overlooked us. They said, yeah, United are this, that, and the other. They're finished. Arsenal going to destroy them. What do you know? It's football heritage, guys. And Bruno Fernandes did end up scoring a beautiful free kick. And I did celebrate that, even though that did cost my double Arsenal clean sheet. Sometimes real life football is more worth it than FPL. Let's be honest. And then Trent, big disappointment, did end up conceding to Southampton. I did not expect him to concede. There was a lot of doubts around his minutes, to be fair, but he ended up playing, 80-something odd minutes. So, look, didn't get the returns, but he did look good. Unfortunately, Liverpool did consider go to Southampton, which was, by the way, Van Dijk's fault. He could have easily tucked that, ball away, or Alisson could have picked it up, but they were dilly-dallying in the box, and Southampton ended up going up 1-0. However, what that did, though, is that did increase Salah's minutes. Although Salah, as you can see, he's got a 15-pointer and total 30 points. His EO was around 194%. You don't really gain that much rank, but around my rank, there are some managers who like to be a bit more, I guess, risk takers. And there might be some who went with Palmer, with Leicester at home, good fixtures, and they did kind of get burned because Palmer only got 1 point and he got booked. And he's actually, funny enough, got less minutes than Salah. And the whole debate in the community was to go with Palmer because he's got more minutes compared to Salah, to the fact that they're going to play PSG in 3 days. Now, that didn't happen. So Salah ended up outscoring Palmer by 14 points. Bit of a tough swing, but come on. Salah, Southampton at home, promoted team. We have seen him, this season absolutely destroy teams, especially promoted teams. It was a bit of a no-brainer. Hence, you guys can see it's 194% EO. A lot of people are claiming it's luck, this and the other. I guess is it also luck that Palmer missed the penalty? I just think it is what it is. At the end of the day, you pick the best captain who you think is going to score the most points, and you go with that. And that's what I thought, to be honest. Moving on to my midfield, bit of a shocker again. Like, Bumo, Clivert. I mean, Clivert got 1 return, but he should have got a lot more returns. And that's the only return I got in my alpha players, other than Salah. Like, I've got no return from 10 of my players. Obviously, Salah's got 1 return, and Clivert's my second player that got a return. Isak, Bowen, Palmer, everyone blanked. Absolute shocker of a week. But yeah, at the end of the day, you can't get green arrow every week. I had a bit of a good run, to be honest. I had like 5 or 6 green arrow in a row. So it was bound to happen, the red arrow. I'm still grateful to be in the position that I'm in. So let's look at some transfer plans for game week 29. So going into game week 29, my plan is to, which is I actually already done the move, guys, spoiler alert. I have sold Palmer and I bought in Elanga. Palmer has just been in a shocker of a form. I think in this last 10 games, he's only got 2 returns. And he's played a bunch of promoted teams. Quite a few easy fixtures, the likes of Brighton, Villa. Defensively, they were quite poor, and he still ended up blanking versus them. So I feel like Palmer has, run his course. He still has good fixtures coming up, as you guys can see. After Arsenal, he's got Tottenham, Brentford, Ipswich. But I just feel like we have held him for the easy fixtures, the likes of Southampton and Leicester, and he blanked. What can I expect in the other fixtures? He could very well hold, but there are other players to prioritize. And as you guys can see, the big man, the Earl of Norway, who did burn me at the end of the season, I'm bringing him in, and I'm selling Isak. Isak is only being sold for temporarily. But I'll be bringing back Isak on game week 31 when he does play Leicester. So I'll only be missing him for blank game week 29 and for game week 30 in Brentford, which is a bit of a, I guess, a good fixture for him. But I'm willing to, hedge my bets because I'll have the likes of Haaland, who's going to have Leicester at home, and potential captaincy shout. So I'm willing to go against him for that 2 weeks. Elanga is a bit of a differential shout. It's ultimately just to fund the money for Haaland. I really don't like any budget enablers. There are options such as Minte, Waneri, as well as Hudson-Odoi. I just thought Elanga was the best of the bunch. and he did have a bit of a good run, and he has a very good link up with Wood. So I do prefer him over the likes of Hudson-Odoi, Minte, and Waneri. So overall, if I had to go, there was another route I could have taken, which is sold Trent because he's a bit injured right now, and sold Mbemo and go for Elanga, and then buy a Haaland for Isak, but that would have been for -4. With these two moves, it's straight up 2 switches, and I still managed to put out 11 outfield players. So to me, it seemed like a no-brainer, and Palmer was also going down in price. And let's be honest, would be at this stage in the season, we'll be prioritizing the doublers over the single game weeks, and Palmer doesn't double anytime in the future. Although he has good fixtures in the short term, I still think Haaland is a better shout due to the fact that I can captain him in 29 as well as 30. So now let's move on to my game week 29 team selection. So for game week 29, your boys lining up with the double Arsenal defense. They do have Chelsea at home. Bit of a tough fixture. They could potentially lose a clean sheet, but at the end of the day, they have a fixture. I'm happy that they're playing at least. There's quite a few, bit of players that are blanking. And then I have Hoyson, who's got Brentford at home, potential clean sheet. If not, I hope Mbemo scores. And then Nico Williams with Ipswich and Greaves at Forest at home. Let's be honest, Greaves is not getting anything in that game. I'll be really lucky to get anything. Most likely a blank, probably a 1-pointer. But look, as long as he gets something, 1 or 2 points, I'm happy. I'm hoping for Nico Williams clean sheet, of course. The defense is not too bad, but at the same time, it's not too great. But it is a blank game week, and I'm navigating it, so I can't have the most optimal team this week as I'm not free hitting. And then you got in midfield my new transfer in Elanga, Ipswich away, very good entry point, and he's been really good with Chris Wood linking up. He's a bit of an assist threat more so than goal threat. Hudson-Odoi is a bit more of a goal threat, but I do like the numbers and the fact that he's in set pieces and some corners as well. And Mbemo, you know what time it is, guys. Mbemo is a proven FPL asset. Although I do not like his positioning sometimes in the easier fixtures, but I feel like in the tougher games he could potentially play out front, and Shade might hold the bench. Although it's not been happening recently, if he does play out front, Mbemo can get a return in any game. So still happy to hold him. And then you got Clive at Brentford at home, great fixtures for an attacker. He could definitely hold. And then up front you got Chris Wood, potential captaincy shout. Currently does have my vice captaincy, but last but not least, you got your boy, the Earl of Norway, the main man, who's finally back in my team. I did have him to start the season for all his hat tricks and his braces, and then he also was the reason for my downfall. But now I'm going back there again. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I was quite reluctant to go there, but there was not many options for me. I really wanted to get Cunha, but he was not available because he got suspended. Now I had no other options. All the strikers are dropping like flies. So ultimately I had to go back there. The fact that I didn't take hits, I'm quite happy to go there. But now captaincy is going to be a bit of a big dilemma this week. For me, it is still currently on Haaland, but only because he's a premium asset, and maybe that price is maybe playing a bit of games in my head. But Wood, he's been just as good as Haaland, and he's got a better fixture. So come the deadline, I could easily switch to Chris Wood, and I do think that Chris Wood is most likely to be the highest EO captaincy. So we'll come and see come the deadline. Make sure to tune in on my deadline stream on Saturday at 10 a.m. So just to see, what my final team selections are. I may potentially take a hit to take out Trent for Guardiola, but I highly doubt that because I still have 11 outfield players, and most people will be playing with 10 players. Some people don't have a keeper. So I don't think I'll be making any more moves. As the team's currently stands, Haaland captain, Brighton at home, good fixture. Not a great fixture, but okay fixture. But ultimately, it could easily be on Chris Wood because by far he has the best fixture on paper. As you guys can see on the bench, I'm keeping Mateta and Salah and Trent. Trent is injured. Most likely, I will sell him come in the future weeks for a double game week player. But this week, I'm just gonna hold him. I feel like I want to wait for more information and keep my options open. Potentially, I may work a 31. I may not. So me keeping Trent does allow me that option, and I could potentially keep Haaland up until game week 33, where he most likely will double. So that is one of the biggest reasons why I did sell Palmer, is to keep my options open, and I would not be locked into a wildcard in 31 with this strategy. So let me know what you guys think of how I'm lining up. And let's now move on to the best route to get Haaland for you guys' team. So I'm assuming a lot of people will have the likes of Trent, potentially a Watkins, or the Isak, Mateta, or Cunha, whoever. I do feel like if you have 2 free transfers, it's quite an easy switch. A Palmer down to a Hudson-Odoi or a Elanga, and then you've got Isak up to a Haaland. However, if you don't want to sell Palmer and you want to keep him, then it will take 3 transfers. I do definitely think that you can sell Trent to a cheap, say for example, Forest defender like Nico Williams, who's only 4.4 million, and then I'll downgrade Mbemo to an Elanga or Minte, whichever cheap midfielder you like, and then go Isak to Haaland. Or I would say potentially go Cunha to Haaland if you have the spare funds in your bank. But these are the routes I think I think -4 is worth it for Haaland, but -3 is a bit of a stretch. Another question is it even worth bringing Haaland? I just think due to the fact that there's lack of options and you don't have the likes of Cunha to captain, who had Southampton, would have been a prime fixture to captain, to be honest, and that was my plan originally. But due to the fact they're suspended and there are not many that many strikers available, let's be honest. So Haaland seems like the standout option this week. So I do think -4 to get him is worth it. Captaincy is a bit of a debate, as I already said, but these are the routes I'd consider. Whether you have Rodgers, whether you have Watkins, I do think you can sell these guys to afford, Haaland. Rodgers, I don't think you can afford that much funds, but with Watkins, you can release a lot of funds, Isak, as well as Trent and Palmer. I think all these guys can be sold for Haaland for the next 2 weeks, especially if you're, looking to wildcard in Game Week 31, which I do think most people are going to be doing, as the doubles will be announced by that time. Let's now move on to best Game Week 29 free hit team, because I know some of you guys potentially might be free hitting in Game Week 29. This is just something quickly I drafted, but if I'm being completely honest, depending on the leaks and whatnot, I would potentially consider maybe go for either Marmoush or Foden, depending on who starts. I currently do have Marmoush, but I would consider if there's any leaks, potentially go for Foden if he's benched, because we did see that Marmoush got benched last week. So I do like the triple up on City. I also like the potential differential captaincy in Bruno Fernandes, as he does have a Leicester, but I'd personally not go there. Although, as you guys can see on the screen, the captaincy is on Bruno, but it's just a mistake, to be honest. I'd still probably go for Haaland captaincy in this free hit. But if you were chasing and you wanted to be a bit differential, he's a good option, not terrible. My fear is that he may play the double pivot and not be as advanced as you would like him to be. In terms of the back line, it could be easily switched as well. Like, you don't have to go for Gabriel. It's more of a security because Arsenal defense are quite highly owned. You can go for the likes of Wan-Bissaka, West Ham defender, or an Everton defender, or maybe Wolves defender. But I personally prefer the Arsenal defense over the rest. I mean, you could start Kirk as ahead of Gabriel if you wanted to. And you also don't need to have Mbemo. I mean, you can go for a double force attack instead of maybe a double force defense or something. Like, it's easily switchable. I do think, though, if you can avoid trading in this game week, I personally would avoid it. And even if that means take a -4 and play at 10 outfield players, I don't think the free hit is too strong personally. But again, it's quite team dependent. So I think if you already plan to free hit, potentially just go ahead with it. But yeah, this is what I've got for you guys. Again, I'm not on free hit 29, so I've not looked into it too deep. This is just something that I know I roughly put together. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And all the best to you guys in Game Week 29. I'm going to see you guys after the international break. Make sure to smash the like button, show love in the comment section, and tune into my deadline stream on Saturday. And peace out.